Hey everybody, I'm Captain Tommy Scoville, and you are on the Lifeboat, and I'm late. That never happens. I apologize. It's Saturday, and you know what that means. Yep, cleaning my collection of Elvis plates from the Franklin Mint. That's my Saturday routine, and it also means we're going to do Saturday Night Boat. This is the night, folks. If you're new here, this is the night that we let our hair down, figuratively speaking, obviously. And Alan Ballantyne, good to see you, man. Tommy Bird, funny seeing you here. Nick, man, we got the whole crew on the boat. We got the whole damn crew on the boat. All right. This is a time that we fart around. Sometimes we talk about periods of time as they relate to, say, music, pop culture, whatever was going on, say, during the 80s or the 90s. If we go, hey, did I just see Liz? I did. Hello, Liz. Great to see you. Glad that you're here. Oh, that's awesome. So yeah, we do. We don't usually get too far past. As you know, we're all old. I can think of probably two people that are going to take exception to me saying everybody here is. Oh no, I got candy corn. There's an entire stash of it in the desk right now, full of hope. An entire stash. I promise you, in the months of September and October, there's never a moment where I don't have some really disgusting confection that everyone else in the world thinks is nasty within arm's length. Hello, Becky. Good to see you back. You're out of it? Oh, Alan. People, he took like 2 kilos or something. Like he took a lot of them. Can't believe you're already out of them, especially considering you said they didn't taste good. Sorry, people. Good to see you, DJ Daddy-O. It's Mr. T. Mr. T, I saw an email. I did not get to it. I'm either 3 or 4 days behind, which is good because I was like 6 days behind yesterday. Smitty, good to see you. I am 69 away. Do you hear this, people? Liz Ferris is 69 people away from 1,000, right? There's 43 of us on this boat. We're going to have more than 100 by the time that we are gone. So get on over there. If I got a mod, why doesn't someone with a wrench put an address for Liz's site? Let's see if we can't get her to that 1,000. She's almost at the 4,000 hours. And I promise you, if you've ever monetized the channel, that is way harder than getting the 1,000 subscribers. I got really lucky because the early crew of the boat was just such savages. I think every one of them had like 4 TVs, computers, every device in the entire city they had on the Lifeboat, basically around the clock. Andrew, good to see you, brother. Still doing well. Good to see you, man. Thank you, Russ. I feel refreshed. I really do. I got a decent night's sleep last night. And I've been looking forward to this day for a really long time. This is a reunion of sorts. I have somebody coming to into town, and I am sure that at least a handful of you are probably already guessing who that is going to be. But before you get all excited about me hurting myself for your entertainment, I'm going to let him do that. And I don't know, those 8 super hots that I woofed on that was one of the dumbest things that I've done in a long time. Steve says, turn the boat around. I will turn this boat around. Hello, Sharon. Good to see you. Hope you're doing better. I look great. Thank you. The facial hair is coming back. It is. Liz, you're welcome. I love what you're doing, Liz. I don't honestly. So if you're just somebody in the chat and you think, hey, I'm 400 away, I probably will check out your channel and see what you're doing before I really would feel stupid if I sent somebody over to somebody that was nothing like me. You know what? I did move to Arizona. This is a permanent thing. Chatsy says, hey now, nice to be here again. I saw a couple of shorts of your trip around the Grand Canyon, or did you move to Arizona? Let me know next time you go. We should do the kayak trip from the Hoover Dam to the Emerald Cave. That actually sounds like a hell of a lot of fun. I moved here. This is a full-time gig. Bought a house in Arizona, and I'm in the process of selling my house in Nevada since I'm no longer living there. Unless, of course, I win $450 million because that is my, I have the winning ticket again in my hands. I have the winning ticket for $450 some odd million. And if that happens, I want you to know that every single person on the lifeboat is going to get a big smile from Tommy Scoville as I tell you how much money I won. So let's figure out what we're doing here. I suppose we could do trivia, or we could just randomly start talking about funny things that make people happy. Quite often, we end up on the oddest things in the world, candies, whatnot. However, I hold in my hand a question. Now, no one knows this question. Then we'll top it off. Sedona. No worries. I have a winning Powerball for 900 million. See that? He's solid. For real. He's got 900 coming anyway. Beautiful. So fun hearing the Tucson talk. Brings back the old times. What are you saying? I get a little dicey anytime someone starts saying old times around me and things like that. I'm getting a little long in the tooth, and I don't have glasses. This may not be trivial. Let's see if I can find a pair of glasses because I'm blind. Let's see here. This might get her done. Let's give this a try. What do you think? There you go. Handsome too, huh? All right. Let's see what we're working with. No, that's terrible. No, that's terrible. No, that's awful. Seriously, not one good one in the entire pack. You know what, people? It's not happening. Sorry, there won't be any reading tonight. We're going to hang out. We're going to have fun. Honestly. So here's the deal. I got brand new glasses. I told everybody on the boat. I went down and I got brand new glasses, 2 pair. One basically for driving, which I don't even know that I need. Be really honest with you. I read signs. I do well. Ask Alan Ballantyne. I almost killed him maybe twice. The rest of the time, I do pretty well on the road. I'm not too worried about that. The reading glasses, though, are a freaking issue, right? For real. And I went and spent all of this money to go see this professional. And I'll be really honest with you. I don't think this professional did a particularly good job, right? No, for real. And I'll tell you what the real problem is, right? The real problem lies in, if you remember, my pharmacy got generic Suboxone, and my insurance company won't pay for generic. It will only pay for name brand. This is about, I don't know, a month and a half ago, right? So, hey, I love you too, Jackson. It's good to see you, man. So here I am trying to get through a weekend with no Suboxone. And it was uncomfortable. It wasn't the end of the world by any stretch of the imagination, right? It wasn't like being without dope. It's just not that kind of a drug, but it was unpleasant. It was 3 days of not fun. And the problem is I went and got my eyes tested like the first day back on. And I honestly think that my vision was still sort of blurred out. You know what I mean? If you've ever been addicted to opiates, you do go through there's like this hazy kind of a thing when you first get the stuff out of your system. You're just so used to being sedated that when you start trying to look through normal eyes, it doesn't work. So that's the long way of saying that I don't think either of these glasses are worth anything. Like they make no help whatsoever. It was just one of those stupid investments that I'm not exactly sure why I did. And yeah. So the Mars bars, is that where we're going with this? Are we starting with candy? I think I saw that. No, we're Let me see one more time on the glasses. It's really sad when the problem is that this is just age related, which is just so unpleasant. I want to say bad words. You don't have any idea how bad I want to say bad words. You know what? The people on this boat are fantastic. And I'm getting a couple of texts from them. So here's what we're gonna do, right? We're gonna do trivia. We're gonna do trivia, but you just need to give me 2 seconds because I'm pulling up some trivia on this because I can blow the puppy up, right? Who's with me? Who's with me? This has been one of those days, people. Nothing went right today. I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say that. Things today didn't run according to schedule, right? Everything is a little bit late, a little bit not running on time. Other than that, though, so trivia of the 1970s, 80s, and 90s with answers. Are you ready? Let's go. Let's start firing this thing up. That. Should we do a sitter to get this thing started? Who were on the night shift in the 1985 charts? On the night shift. Gonna be some sweet times. Come on. Nothing yet? The delay, or you people are just not big fans of the 70s? Where's the Green Gables intermission? Yeah, that sounded a little like that. Commodores. We have Commodores. Steve Molesky. What month is the shortest of the year? May. 3 letters. Henry Winkler. I'm not exactly sure what the answer was to that, but you know what? That is a great answer. I think when in doubt, if you go with Fonzie, Liz, you're not allowed to rub that in. You know what I mean? That's just plain bad form, right? Did you see that, people? Liz wanted us to know that she might not have been born yet, right around the time that I was already, well, certainly I had probably gotten in trouble by that point, by the time she was born. In fact, no, I know I have. That was a lock. All right, well, we'll get a little closer up here for Liz and for all of you youngsters, all 6 of you. Are you ready? What was the first UK #1 hit of the 1990s? I'll give that to you one more time. What was the first UK #1 hit of the 1990s? When you find out who this is, you're going to be really disappointed. That's my personal opinion. I don't know. Full of hope. Weighs in with the nah. By the 90s, you weren't listening to music. I wasn't catching a lot of it either. Hanging tough, says Liz. New kids on the block. Absolutely. New kids on the block. NKOD. NKOB? Yeah, I don't have any idea. The New Kids on the Block had a bunch of hits. Chinese food makes me sick. I have no idea who sings that song, where I heard it. But I heard it somewhere because I just flashed back to it. And that was weird. Man, that was weird. Who sang a soundtrack? Have you ever really loved a woman? For the 1995 movie, Don Juan DeMarco. This I did not know. And I usually know most of them. Uh-oh. Booyah, booyah. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Rod Stewart. No, not bad though. Not a bad guess. Wow, the old man got it. Yes, you are old. There's no question. I was gonna tell a time traveling joke, but you guys didn't like it. But Brian Adams, Jeremy Shelton. Not only is Jeremy Shelton a master of all trivia, Seinfeld. We were actually going to, when Heather was doing Saturday Night Boat, we were doing purely Seinfeld trivia. But it was Brian Adams, the Canadian rocker. You remember Summer of '69? Remember that song? Got my first real six string. Do you know that in the summer of '79, Brian Adams was 8 years old? I always found that really funny. Someday I'm going to tell you a story of where I got that song from because you will laugh hysterically, each and every one of you. Let's see. You dislike Rod Stewart so much, says Andrew. Wow. You know, I think Rod Stewart is one of those cats that you either like or hate because he's kind of got that, you know, really kind of raspy, gravelly voice. I'm a big Rod Stewart fan, but I'm also old. And Brandon, good to see you, man. This apparently Ian DeBell would drive 10,000 miles and then he would drive 10,000 more. You know what? I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't. I would not drive 5,000 miles and then 5,000 more. Not for anything. Sorry, just too far a drive. However, 500 to 600 miles. That's about the. That's when you're getting to the outer limits. What year did Every Breath You Take come out? It was off of the soundtrack to a movie called. Oh, man, my brain used to be so good at this. It was that wrestling movie. It was a terrible movie, but it was a great soundtrack. It was about a wrestler. Come on, somebody. 83 sounds pretty close. It is definitely the 80s, Scott. Is it 83? Diana M got it? Coinky dink? Ah, there we go. I was wondering what the hell you were trying to spell. Coinky dink. Coincidence. I got you. That was creative. Not sure if that's how you do it, but that was creative. Let's see something here. What the heck? No one is going to tell me the name of that movie. Something Vision. Something Vision. Visionscape. Visionscape? Vision. Oh, boy, I don't like it when I can't remember things. The Police. Normally, just saying that word out loud bums me out. This wasn't so bad. Yeah, and once on a bad acid trip, I swear I made an attempt at. Boy, it's moving quick. Attempt to paint with all of the colors of the wind. Believe that. Hummingbird, you make me laugh, man. You really do. Seventh Son is almost always killing it, isn't he? Isn't that what Seventh Son is known for? Seventh Son tells dad jokes. And, oddly enough, happens to be the seventh son. Vision Quest. DJ Daddy, I was right. Vision Quest was that movie. You know what, people? If you had any idea, just the damage I did to my brain at Grateful Dead concerts alone, everybody should be going, you got to be kidding, right? Tommy just got Vision Quest. First of all, it was a terrible film, right? For real, it was a terrible film. Awful. Awful. The only thing good about it was that soundtrack. But I did remember it. And I am absolutely patting the crap out of my back, and I'm going to continue to do so. Sorry. That's it. I don't know, Cemetery. I didn't see you really kill that any food. I wasn't impressed. I was expecting you to eat like Hey, Aaron. I mean, you kind of described yourself as Vision Quest was a great movie. As a former wrestler, great soundtrack, Journey, Madonna, etc. Jeremy liked it. You know what? Maybe it's the former wrestler. Miss Dragon says it is filmed in Spokane. I'm going to get a lot of people angry at me. I'm kidding. It was a fantastic film. I'm joking. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, I've got the DVD somewhere around here. I think it's under My Girl, which I had intended to watch tonight. I've never seen it. Believe it or not, I've never seen My Girl. So I'm thinking might be a good night for a little tearjerker. I'm not going to lie to you. I like chick flicks. Go ahead, pick on me. Do what you do. Go ahead, do what you do. Yeah, movies works. All right, how about this? We do worst films of all time. And we're not putting Vision Quest in because, as we know, this was an excellent film. It really wasn't bad, according to other people here. So, but I'm going to go Battle Beyond the Stars. If you have not seen Battle Beyond the Stars, truthfully, the worst. It's not on beta. Yes, if it's not on Betamax, we are not talking about it. It had to bring the tissues. Jeremy says, I'm going to be in deep trouble with the Master of the Universe. Bad film. Absolutely a bad film. But I got to make my argument for Battle Beyond the Stars, and I'll tell you why, right? Caddyshack 2. You know what? I almost have to call it. Caddyshack 2 is so freaking bad. It really is. Because Caddyshack 1 was so good that Caddyshack 2 is painful. It really is. Battlefield Earth. Good. Well played, Russ. You're gonna make friends. That's such a good answer. Plan 9 from Outer Space is pretty bad. Galaxy Quest is a great movie. I'm sorry. Galaxy Quest was funny. There's so much great mockery of all of us that dig Star Trek or anything else. That's Highlander 2. Complete embarrassment. I'm trying to remember Highlander 2. I'm trying to remember if I can separate them. Yeah, Dan Aykroyd and Caddyshack. What was he thinking, right? Why did he take that gig? Waterworld with Kevin Costner. Waterworld with Kevin something. Funny piece of trivia, worthless trivia. That was the most expensive movie ever made at the time, right? They paid so much money to make Waterworld, and it was just not that girl. Tommy's going to watch the movie My Girl, cuddle up to his cat, eating popcorn and drinking non-alcoholic mojitos in a pink bathrobe. Do you know what's really sad? For real? It's not far off of what I'm doing tonight. You're this close. I'm telling you, if you had any idea, you missed the part where I build the fort out of like cushions from the couch. Yeah. And I don't know whether or not Squirrel will put up with the My Girl thing, but you were damn close. You really were. See something here. Nicole Spencer says, I used to carry my Beta and huge video camera around in the 80s. Got attacked by a pissed off hippie at a Grateful Dead concert. I thought all hippies were chill. Nicole, I am blown away. I went to a lot of Grateful Dead concerts, way more than I should have. And they were really, really, you did not worry about fist fights at Grateful Dead concerts. That's crazy. You sure? You mean he was probably in the 80s. Okay, so yeah, I'm guessing it was after Touch of Grey came out. When Into the Dark came out, that album, the Dead hit number 4 on the top 40 chart with Touch of Grey. And they had never gotten anywhere near anything like that on the charts. I think the only other one that had ever charted was Casey Jones, and it was, I don't know, it was nowhere near the top 10. But all of a sudden, the Dead got really popular, and Dead concerts got like 5 times bigger than they had been, which was great if you were selling nitrous oxide balloons, but it was not fun if you were going to see the concerts. And the parking lots became really, really, the Grateful Dead, the atmosphere with the Dead really changed after that hit. I remember watching Jerry interviewed, and he was apologizing to everybody for putting out the album. He's like, I didn't mean to screw anything up. I'm really sorry. The most expensive, horrible movies ever made. Well, that one was really bad. Smokey and the Bandit 3. Yeah, Smokey and the Bandit 3 is bad, but I don't know that I could put it in the worst of all time. The reason I said Battle Beyond the Stars is you can see so many screw ups in that movie, like a guy wearing a wristwatch, right? There's a scene where they're on a planet and they're fighting with lasers and everything else, and there's a freeway. You can see the freeway, like you have to know when to look for it, but there's absolutely cars going by on a freeway, and it's like in the corner off in the distance, and there's so much like that when you watch it, you just say to yourself, how did this film get made? And oddly enough, I saw it in a I do own a pink bathrobe, Liz. Are you surprised? I could go get my pink bathrobe right now because you think I'm kidding. I probably, if Aaron would not have a stroke at his house, because that's what would happen if I left here to go get my pink bathrobe so that you could see it. That would be about 2 or 3 minutes of dead air, and Aaron cannot do dead air. He doesn't watch the Lifeboat very often, but I promise you, just knowing how much dead air was out there, he would fall over. He would. But I do, Liz, I will send you a picture of it later. Not only do I have a pink bathrobe, but it has an alligator on it. That's about that big. I got this huge, you would love it. Did I like Jericho Mile? I don't remember that film. Poltergeist, Night of the Chicken Dead. Am I being trolled? Is there really a film called Poltergeist, Night of the Chicken Dead? Come on, man. Come on. I'm getting trolled. There's no way that's real. Britney Spears did a movie. All right, let's shut this thing down. I'm going to go watch this Britney Spears film. We did about 27 minutes. I love Britney. I didn't know Britney did a movie. Have you ever heard me do my Leave Britney Alone? It would crack you up. 6'2" in pink. Yes. In pink Lacoste. I like the color pink. I've got a lot of pink. I know people don't like it. I dig the color pink. Liz Ferris, you did not like the movie Alien Nation. Oh my goodness. I actually loved that film. Now I know what the people who like Vision Quest felt like. All right, now I have to defend Alien Nation, which, if you haven't seen it, it is about we get a group of aliens who come to our planet, and we take them in and sort of assimilate them into our culture. But being the people that we are, we're unable to do that, and we have basically racial slurs for them, and we don't treat them like regular citizens. But it's a pretty interesting script. And the funniest part is that these aliens can drink alcohol and nothing happens. In order to get drunk, they have to drink curdled milk, which I always found really funny because there were some really funny scenes of him getting loaded where he's drinking milk with huge chunks and look like something that like an LA Beast video from like 5 years ago. Have you ever seen that LA Beast video where he does the gallon of milk that he left outside? Like he let milk go completely bad and then drank a gallon of it. Oh, are you ready? Side note, real quick, and then we'll get back to the worst movies ever made. Alien Nation's not one of them. We might have to do a movie night so that you can see. Everyone was high. By way of full disclosure, there are no films I'm talking about that I've seen sober. Like, honestly, I didn't get sober 8 years ago, right? And I haven't watched any movies since then. So I don't think I saw any movie other than like Chitty Chitty Bang Bang or something that they showed me when I was 6. Like every other movie I ever saw, I was high for. Unfortunately, I think that can imagine that a lot of hippies are Vietnam veterans that were in the jungle. That could be. That could be Howard the Duck. Howard the Duck is an awful film. It really is. It's an awful film. So Jericho, I don't know Jericho Mile. I really do not know that film, sadly. Grease 2. Grease 2 is awful. Absolutely. Grease 2 is awful. That is an awful film. Milk is best consumed chunky. Not too many people say that. That is not something you hear said out loud often. Oh, Moon, did you turn into a werewolf? Snot face up for a gift membership. Good to see you, Snot face. You know what? When you guys gift memberships, I cannot see it on this platform. And that is such a bummer because I cannot thank people for it, which really bums me out. Liz Ferris says, but Michelle Pfeiffer is hot. I'm not sure which Michelle Pfeiffer film we're talking about. Michelle Pfeiffer's hot. She did a film. What was the name of that movie? Yeah, you're funny as hell. Arachnophobia. There's no chance I'm watching Arachnophobia. There is no chance. I wouldn't watch Arachnophobia if you gave me a car when the movie was over. How's that? For real. I don't like them. I really do not like them. You can't gift memberships on an iPhone. I did not know that. What lies beneath? Battlefield Earth gets a bad rap. You know what, Buddhist beer? I can't comment to that intelligently because I have not seen it. I have read it. For whatever reason, the science fiction of L. Ron Hubbard is super popular in prison. And honestly, I dig some of the science fiction writing. I really did like some of it, but there was a ton of it in there. I read the whole thing, but I didn't see it. But I heard it was really bad. Good flick for a spiritual night in on YouTube, free with ads. Nice. What lies beneath has Michelle in it. Oh, okay. Brandon. Holy hell. 71 days. You have got to be kidding. Brandon, my man. People, can we get a 1 or an 11 or something for my boy? Can we see some ones? Brandon, well played, brother. If you're new to the Lifeboat, people, Brandon has been Brandon's drug of choice is alcohol, and we've been together a long time now, and he is super honest and super open when he slips, and has just been, I don't know, man, an inspiration, I think, to a lot of other people with that honesty. I think one of the first people ever that came in here and said, "Hey, I relapsed last night," and it was just, I know everybody in the boat was like, you didn't have to tell anybody that, right? That's awesome. You know, you're actually sharing, you're talking about it, and it tends to stop you from continuing, right? If you relapse on a Friday and you tell people about it Saturday morning, your odds of getting wasted that day really decrease, right? Sorry to sneak in a little rehab, but we kind of are a show about recovery. We're a show about living your best life for real. I was talking with a few of some second generation ex Scientologists. You did not like Ace Ventura? I'm sorry, I almost fell down. You did not like Ace Ventura? Oh wow, it was a great film. So I was talking to a couple of second gens, and people, it's astounding. The similarities are just not only is there no denying it, but it's so glaring and so in your face that I'm shocked more people don't talk about it. That what you go through with group support as a drug addict, whether you go to prison or whether not all drug addicts go down the road that I went down, right? Like my best friend did dope for 30 years, and he just worked like, ridiculous hours, and he got, come on, every penny that he got went to dope. And so there's a bunch of different ways that you can do it, but no matter how you do it, once you stop, you've got all of that time behind you that you think it's all wasted. I wasted all of that time, right? So at 46, what do I say? I got to write off everything from the age of 13 to 46, right? So I'll try to glean some good stuff from up until the time that I was about 12, and then from there on. And so we all have this challenge of trying to take anything good that we can from the bad that happened in the past, right? And hopefully heal. So, we don't go over the rules as often as we used to on the Lifeboat because you do 1,000 shows and it just gets so redundant. But we got a mean people suck rule, right? And that's the name of the rule. Mean people suck. We don't allow them, right? So every once in a while, like when we're screwing around like this, we can yuck it up or whatever. But if you ever say anything biting or mean to somebody in the comment section here, you're gone. Nobody gets second chances or any of that, because we are a place where the default setting is love and being kind. And if you can't handle that, right, then there's 58 million other channels that you can go out and hang out on, right? But we don't do the mean people suck thing. And I want to tell you something. I'm one of the most spiritual or religious or whatever you want to call it people on the planet, right? I don't talk about it here because I'm not going to shove my religion down anyone's throat. And the last thing in the world I want to do is take something that I don't share with a lot of people and force it into a relationship, because there's a good chance we're going to get off to a bad start. I'd like to concentrate, especially in the beginning, on all of the things that we have in common, right? Because we've got a crap load in common. And one of the biggest parts is that none of us have any idea at all how to just live and be comfortable in our own skin, right? We have to learn how to live. We got to learn how to be human. Pretty crazy, right? And for the people I was talking to who are the second gens that have escaped, they're literally learning an entire new world, because the one that they lived in, if you can imagine finding out that the world that you grew up in is not at all what you thought it was, right? It's one of the big differences between them and us as far as the drugs go, right? But the addictions, the processes, and how you heal are all really, really similar, right? The same principle of, if you're holding things inside, you're not getting it done, right? You're not. You have to share your pain. It sucks, right? But if you don't share it, it will continue to revisit you like the ghost of Christmas past, and it will do it for the rest of your life, for real, and it will destroy you. Anyone watch Cocaine Bear? No, but it's on my list of things to see, because Cocaine Bear is a really funny concept. Please tell me at some point the bear is like doing the carpet safari and looking for pieces of coke or crack that landed on the rug. Come on. I'm trying to visualize, like a grizzly or a black bear down there on the carpet safari. Don't you judge me. Every one of you's done that. Every one of you has done that. See this? So Cocaine Bear, apparently that is a real movie, because Jason said he thought it was hilarious. Good. Because I would really like to check that out. Wow. Quiet girl. For your information, my next cut on Klonopin is tomorrow. 0.25, no drama October. How good is that? You're still naming terrible movies. Well, you know what? I appreciate that. And you can't run out of bad films. It's one of the reasons that it's such a great subject. There are so many movies that were made that are just so bad, honestly, where you just watch the thing and, oh, wait a second. The top of the food chain for the worst movies ever made. Arnold Schwarzenegger did a film, would have come out in like 2013. It came out in 2013, and it's a zombie movie, right? Where he plays the father of a girl who's a zombie, right? If you saw this movie, please weigh in on this, because this is one of those movies that when it ended, and I saw this incarcerated, I saw this movie in prison, and When this movie ended, there was a room full of like 40 convicts looking at one another going, what the hell just happened? That entire movie, nothing happened. They managed to do a 2-hour film where you keep waiting for the payout, like something scary is going to happen or something. No. They Live was awesome. They Live was awesome. It was, but see, this is a whole different genre. This is the genre of film that is so bad, it's classic. We could do an entire day of that. You know what I mean? Like Night of the Living Dead, right? I mean, that's a horribly made film, but it's just such a classic. They Live is great. I came here to kick ass and chew bubble gum, and I'm all out of bubble gum. That was Roddy Piper, the wrestler. God almighty, the 80s were just so bad. The some of the script writing that came out. I told you before in Roadhouse, right? The great Patrick Swayze, when talking to the love interest, female character in the film, who is playing a nurse, a lovely blonde lady, who is reading his medical file and going through, this bone that was broken and this, and this, that. And she says something about, boy, you must really like pain. And he says, pain don't hurt. And it was just, I don't know, of all of the, it's that line from my youth that if I call anybody I went to high school with and say, pain don't hurt, they'll all just immediately die. What Ace is the best movie of all of them? And Dumb and Dumber, The Jerk, all awesome. Nicole, I'm starting to see a pattern in the kind of films that you like. I don't know. I thought that the second Ace Ventura, I think, was the one that I enjoyed the most. That one really cracked me up. As far as Dumb and Dumber goes, I didn't really groove to the second Dumb and Dumber. The first one was so stupid that it really was excellent. And a guy that I knew was in that film. The guy that eats the peppers that they poison. I was in a movie with him. His name is Mike Starr. He's a character actor. He's done a bunch of movies. He was one of the guys who did the Lufthansa heist in Goodfellas. He was in so many movies that it was kind of crazy. Ray, here's what I want you to do. Right? Quiet girl. Did you hear that? So whatever Mr. Ray just said, he says we can do a Saturday night watch party. That if we can set up a watch party that isn't going to get the big red button to send me another one of those, boy, are you stupid Tommy letters? Well, then we'll do that because I would love to do that. But I know that they frown on it. So I would like to make sure that Salem's Lot. Okay. This is an issue. This is a huge issue. And I'll tell you why. Because Salem's Lot is a damn awful movie. It is a terrible movie, but it's got a great cast. Like there is so much talent in that movie. And it was filmed in my hometown, like literally in my hometown. So the houses that they filmed in were people I knew's houses. And the sign that they had, the really eerie sign that was right next to the bridge that the car went off. I actually stole that sign. They had it in town, and we got in trouble for stealing that sign while the film was being made. That was one of my first cop go-arounds was getting in trouble for wahooing the sign that they had put in town. Statue is what it was, not a sign. So Salem's Lot is a bad movie. It really is, but it's watching my hometown, and it's every scene. It's not like they went to Hollywood and shot a bunch of it. Like they shot the entire movie in this very, very small town. And so I love it, in spite of the fact that it really is a terrible movie. But it had Fred Astaire in it. I mean, there's a lot of really big name actors in it. It's a horror film. Unfortunately, it's not particularly funny. Channel. Never saw it. I never saw Channel. Okay, how about Human Centipede? Boy, did you see that one? Because that was fun. Yeah, Shatsy, head on over to Facebook and you will see the Lifeboat group page, right? Affectionately referred to as the safe harbor. You have to ask to be let in, and then they will get you signed into there, make you a member. And yeah, there's a lot of stuff there. Same rules apply. Don't go in there and put up, why this president's great or why this president sucks, because nobody wants to hear that. We're not going to turn that site into Facebook, right? It's not really what we do there. It's really kind of about the same kind of thing. If what you're putting up is positive, roll with it, right? If it's not, let's just not be negative, and let's try to understand one another, right? It's a pretty cool concept. It really is. I don't have to agree with anything, right? To allow somebody to live their life without me messing with it. All right? Honestly, I don't care how other people live. I really don't. I would like drug addicts to get treated a little better, right? And I don't think society's going to do it immediately, because right now they look at us as the homeless problem. They look at us as the border problem, right? All of that just keeps coming back to drugs. So if you're somebody that doesn't, you're just the problem. And I almost understand where they're coming from, because you hear 350 people a day die. And if you don't understand drugs, you think to yourself, if it wasn't for all these damn drug addicts, they wouldn't be sending over all these drugs, and then all these new kids wouldn't be trying it. And there's a lot of hate. There's a lot of hate. So in the meantime, until this world gets their shit together and starts acting like human beings and treating people who have diseases with not pity, no one wants to be pitied, but with respect. Just treat me the way that you would, say, a diabetic, right? They don't do too well with sugar. I don't do too well with opioids. So treat me the same. And until that happens, until they catch up, then we're just going to try to build our own little place where we can do that, where everybody can come and do that. There you go. It's the Lifeboat in 40 seconds, right? That's the boat. Allison Stacy says, love every single one of you guys. I've been struggling, but every single one of you gives me hope. Good night, loves. Allison, I'm so glad that you found this. Jericho Mile is on YouTube. I will see it. I promise. Steve, I will watch Jericho Mile, as long as it's not one of those films that is edited really quickly, right? I can't. There are some things I can't watch. And if they're really great, I listen to them, right? But Kelly, I'm happy for you, man. I really am. But if you put up, you know what? I got away from religion and I've never been happier, I would say, Kelly, I'm so happy for you. I really would. Truthfully, I'm always really happy when someone says that they have a higher power. And the reason I am is, statistically speaking, your odds of staying sober increase dramatically. And I don't care what that gets attributed to. You can say to me, there's absolutely no chance that there's actually a God. And the only reason that is because it's a panacea of the whatever. I'm just telling you, I like it because it helps the odds. And my odds aren't real good. Right? My job consists of a lot of emails every day from people who are super desperate. And a lot of people who email me to say, well, we don't have to worry about this one anymore because they're gone. That's tough. It really is. It's a tough gig. On the bright side, everybody here does so much to just lift people up. I got an email from somebody yesterday that was it was a very long email. It took a really long time to read. And when I started reading, I thought, oh my God, look at the size of this, right? But it was just one of the sweetest things that anyone had ever said. And it was just a matter of them talking about the lifeboat. And they picked maybe 11 names of people on the boat and just talked about how those people have touched their lives. And I let 3 people read it and all of them cried. It's what you guys have built here is so freaking unique. It's incredible. It really is. It's incredible. It's support. It's radical empathy. And it's not mine, by the way, but I really like it. I have stolen it, adopted it, and made it mine. Okay, popcorn is made, and I'll add Battlestar something with John Travolta. Well, let me know how that works out. That's a film that I wish that I had seen. If I read the book, I want to be able to see the movie so that I can be one of those snobs who say, the book is way better. You really need to read the book. The movie sucked. Like, I like being that person because while you guys were all watching all of those movies, I was reading all of the books that they were based on, right? Because we weren't doing a lot of Friday and Saturday night outs. You know what I mean? You will be free of Klonopin by January 1st, 2024. Couldn't be here without the Lifeboat and all the love and light and prayers and hugs every single day. Quiet Girl, you're one in a million. You really are. Quiet Girl does a tremendous amount to help the Lifeboat continue to float. And I am a terrible boss. For real. If you're trying to help me get organized, you're probably not having a pretty good time. But she's been very, very patient. And people, if somebody calls and I'm in the middle of doing something and someone calls and says, I'm really having a hard time, I tend to forget whatever the hell I was doing. And sometimes I'm on the phone with someone who's trying to help me, and I'll go, gotta take this. This is somebody that's just kind of the nature of this gig, right? Little Shop of Horrors, 1986, hated it, says Ian. I'm not gonna lie to you, I really liked that film. I really did. It was a remake. That one had Steve Martin in it. It's a musical. I don't know. You know, I was a theater geek in high school. I mean, I played football. I played a lot of sports, but I was really into theater. It's what I ended up majoring in college when I first went to college, and then I swapped that out for a different career choice, so to speak. I decided that wasn't the route I was going to go. Scrooged. Russ, tell me you're saying that that's a great movie and not a bad movie. I don't know anybody that doesn't like Scrooged. That was a great film. Great film. When he shoots his partner, the first ghost that comes back, and he finally unloads the clip and he continues to shoot. Flam, blam, please, flam, flam. Yeah, I can watch that one clip of film and be content for like 2 or 3 hours. There is something to be said for watching films that you've seen like 50 times when you just need to cheer up or you just need to change your mood. For real. Awakened, we love you. We love you. Hang in there too, babe. I know that when you come on and you do a show like that, when Mark Wage has been super, Mark's probably lurking. Mark's here almost every day. He really is. Mark doesn't say, hi, how you doing? Because he was the co-founder of the Lifeboat. And if he says, hi, how you doing? Every single person in the boat is going to say hello to him. And it makes him feel like he hijacked I do this. I am in a lot of live feeds that I don't say hi in because I don't want to take away from, you know what I mean? Like sometimes it just feels like, you know, so I know Mark is probably here, but when Mark called and said, I want to go on and talk about my attempt at unaliving myself. And we did an entire show where he came on and he told the story, and he had never shared that with anybody. And boy, oh boy, I wish that he hadn't done it. Like I really do. It was for a really long time. For a really long time, he was struggling. He let it out, and it was not. It didn't heal him instantly. It had bringing it back up, put him in a really bad place for probably a month. Fortunately, he's not there anymore. But you know, if somebody opens up and shares with you, and you don't hear from them for 2 days, man, boy, call them, right? Find out what's up. At least get you know what? I'm working through this. Just, you know, give me some time or whatever. You don't have to haunt them, but am I my brother's keeper? Right? No, that's up to you. I am. So true, Tommy. You have to learn how to live again. I'm laughing again after years of no humor. Zelda, I am so happy to hear that. For real. How cool is that? How cool is that? That's my girl, says Steve. And I don't want to correct you, Steve, but that's my girl. I'm just saying. Find your own girl. I intend to see my girl, I hope, this weekend. Orca with Bo Derek. You know what? I remember seeing Orca. I was too young to see that movie when I saw it. Like, I shouldn't have been in that film. I certainly was. I saw it in the local theater, and my older sister basically like said, it's cool. My mom, we lived in a really small town, so I got into the theater that way because my sister wanted to see her boyfriend or whatever. But I remember being really freaked out by that film. That was Jackie. That's such a cool thing to say. It really is. It's such a nice thing to say. Thank you, Jackie. The Ragamuffin Gospel, good news for the bedraggled, beat up, and burnt out rich. If that's the name of a film, that's impressive. I got sunshine on a cloudy day. Love this movie. What do you think of that? You may find that hard to believe. I love that movie. I really did. I bet I've seen it 25 times. I don't know why. Gina Davis never looked better. She really looked great in that film. And there was a lot of talent in that. And they were all really young. Damon Wayans is in that. Ace Ventura is in that. Can't think of his name. And then, Jeff Goldblum. All really, really young. End of Days. Don't know that I saw that. I don't know that I saw that one. Listen, this is if you're new to the Lifeboat, right? If you've been on the Lifeboat a long time, this is one of the funniest comments of all time. Right? Kelly says, Seventh Son, keep these jokes going. Please. I love them. You have my word. He is going to keep those jokes coming. I promise you. He is absolutely going to keep it coming. Tom Cruise in Eyes Wide Shut. The whole movie was horrible. I was not a huge fan of that. And what bummed me out about it is I was expecting a lot out of that movie. Right? I really was. I thought that movie was going to be awesome because of the director. I was really thinking it was going to be awesome. Dude, Where's My Car? Awful film. Awful film. Awful film. One of the worst ever made. No question. Terrible. In my opinion. Absolutely awful. Terrible. Reefer Madness. Not only a bad film, but one of the worst things that ever happened to our country was Reefer Madness. And I know that you think I'm kidding, but I'm not. They showed Reefer Madness to my high school, right, in the 80s. Serious as cancer. Like, they were not showing Reefer Madness to be funny. They were showing Reefer Madness to scare us so that we didn't get high. And that's what it was made for. It's a propaganda film. It was made in the 50s. And it should have been junked in the 50s, right? And it's so ridiculous that it created, I'm not kidding, an entire generation of drug addicts. It really did. Because we watched people smoke a joint and freak out and jump out of a window and get my reefers. That's my favorite scene is when the guy comes in from work and he's going to beat his wife because she doesn't have the joints already rolled. Jane, get the reefers. It's the most ridiculous thing in the world. And what happens is one of us gets a friend who starts smoking pot. Right? There's always that one kid. He's got parents that smoke or whatever. He's got an older brother. But he didn't get weird. He didn't start jumping out of windows. He wasn't screaming at people. He wasn't doing anything that they did in that movie. Right? So I tried it. And it was nothing like that. So I figured out right then that they were going to lie to me about drugs. So when they, said, hey, that cocaine's really dangerous and it'll kill you, I'll go, yeah, like that weed will make you jump out of windows. I'm sure you're telling the truth. That's why, when I raised my kids, I don't lie to my kids about anything. I don't lie to my kids. This doesn't make any sense. Like, my kids know everything there is to know about drugs. I promise you, everything. Because my kid is not going to overdose because dad didn't explain how dangerous the street drugs are right now. There's no chance. Doesn't mean that might not happen. There's not, you know what I mean? You do everything that you can. But if it happened, I'm never going to sit there and think I should have really spent more time telling my kid about every single time I talk to the poor kid. Like, my daughter will be like, yeah, Dad, no, you want me to do this for you? I'll tell you all about it. Good. Break it down for me. Wait a second. Oh, Spookies. I thought that said Goonies. I was getting ready to throw somebody off the boat. Like, I'm not even playing. I thought somebody put Goonies as the worst movie. I was really. Steve Molesky is Kelly Lynch. What is Kelly Lynch? Was Kelly Lynch an actress or an? Somebody help me with what that reference is. I know somebody by that name. And now I'm feeling really weird. This is what happens when the brain functions, but it doesn't function as good as it used to. Like, I remember things, but I can't quite remember. Yeah, the second Dumb and Dumber was bad. I agree with you. Oh, you know what? The jerk best line, the new phone books here. Oh, I can think of about 5 lines that are in the running, but I'm not going to offend anybody here because some of them are really, really offensive. Steve, you didn't like Goodfellas or you liked Goodfellas? I saw Goodfellas in the movie theater with a backpack that had a kilo of cocaine in it. I swear to you. I saw it with a friend of mine who said, you got to come see this movie. I said, I got stuff to do. It was the middle of the day. He's like, no, dude, you need to come see this movie. And we watched it in a movie theater in Houston. And I was going into this backpack and just like grabbing corners of this stuff, like grounding it up in our hands. And when the movie was over, like, we just sat there and they swept up around us because I watched it a second time. But I'm also an Italian guy from the Northeast, right? So there's a pretty good chance that, that's like, I guess it's stereotypical, but but I dig that movie. Throw Mama from the Train was here's the deal. I had a couple of laughs at that movie. There were a few laughs. And the old woman that just kept, oh God, that's funny. Ellen. Oh, it was so terrible. But by like 10 minutes in, you really wanted her dead. She was fantastic. She really was. She was fantastic. All right, hold on a second. And yes, we have hit the top of the hour. What I've been doing is stalling because I thought there was a chance the cat would show up. I mean, we had made a deal with Squirrel. These things are going to get thrown so far. The problem is, there we go. I'm trying to, hold on, there's something I got to do here. I was trying to get the cat. I'm texting her. We'll see if she shows up real quick. May not happen, but texting her. All right. You know what? That is really a funny comment. That really is a funny comment. Full of hope. If I could have had somebody direct it, it would have been Martin Scorsese. That's a funny comment. That really is. I'm sorry. That is really funny. Tommy, what was the one where the internet guy gets filthy rich by speaking bad about his ex-wife? I don't know if they've given a name to that one yet. Amazingly, she has not called back, so she's probably believing that that what I told her was the truth. But it's also a really funny line. You guys are great, man. I needed a few laughs. Swap ears, boss. Thanks, Jonesy. Dennis, this is why you need people. When I tell you the only thing I can do is talk, you think I'm kidding? Like, literally, man. The only thing I can do is talk. I mean, that is so funny, man. All right, everybody. It's about that time, right? Brandon. Big shout out to Brandon Calloway because this is pretty impressive territory. It really is for a cat that's been doing this for a long time and really trying to stretch out the number of days. Every single time, you make it farther. you know, and make no mistake, people. Oh, Kelly Lynch was in Weird Science. Thank you, Sensational Cinema. Now I know who Kelly Lynch is. And now I know why I know Kelly Lynch. In fact, now I'm not even going to go there. Yeah, man. I got a funny story, but it's not a 105 into it. I'm not telling that story now. Somebody remind me the Kelly story, and I'll tell you the Kelly story later. All right. Damn, missed it. Joni, here's the good news. We're going to be back tomorrow morning, and we're going to do it again. And this one is recorded, so you can always go back and catch it. There is no cat in the basket. We're going to go with SPTV Tattoo Warriors. Squirrel in the basket. It's a stunt squirrel because the lazy animal is off doing something that is important to her, but obviously not important to the lifeboat. Frustrating little animal. All right, everybody. I will see you about 11 hours from now. I'm going to eat a whole pizza. Fat dudes need to eat. All right, Cemetery. It's funny you say that. I intend to buy a little pizza myself tonight. All right? I will see each and every one of you on the next lifeboat. Between now and then, reach out and try to save somebody. And if that somebody's you, get on it. Good night.